As the sun dipped below the ancient horizon, casting eerie shadows across the Colosseum's grand arena, I, Lucius Maximus, prepared for my final battle. The roar of the frenzied crowd reverberated through the massive stone walls, but tonight, their cries held an unsettling tone, a foreboding energy that chilled my very soul. My armor felt heavier than usual, as though some malevolent force sought to weigh me down. The air was thick with tension, and my heart pounded in my chest like a beast desperate to escape its cage. I had faced countless opponents in the arena, but this night was different. My opponent was not of flesh and blood, but of something far more sinister. Across the sand, a hooded figure stood, shrouded in darkness. Its skeletal hands clutched a wickedly curved scythe, a cruel instrument of death that gleamed ominously in the moonlight. I had been told that tonight's spectacle would involve me battling spirits, malevolent entities that hungered for the thrill of mortal combat. As I advanced toward the center of the arena, the spirits materialized one by one, emerging from the very stones of the Colosseum. They were ghastly specters, their forms distorted and twisted by centuries of anguish. Hollow eyes glared at me with hatred, and their ethereal bodies emitted an unnatural, icy cold. The crowd fell into an eerie silence as the battle commenced. My gladius, usually an extension of my arm, now felt like dead weight in my grasp. I swung at the first spirit, but my blade passed through it as though it were smoke. The malevolent entity retaliated with a swipe of its scythe, and I felt a searing pain in my chest as a deep gash appeared across my armor. Panic surged through me, but I had no choice but to continue the fight. I dodged and parried as best I could, but these spirits were not bound by the laws of the physical world. They moved with unnatural speed and struck with deadly accuracy. Each time their scythes passed through me, I felt a cold emptiness, a draining of my life force. The Colosseum's audience, once roaring with excitement, now watched in horrified silence as I battled these malevolent spirits. My strength waned with every passing moment, and my vision blurred from the pain and exhaustion. I knew I could not continue this fight much longer. Then, as if in response to my silent plea for salvation, a strange and ancient sensation washed over me. I felt a connection to the very stones beneath my feet, to the souls of countless gladiators who had met their end in this arena. It was as if their spirits rose to protect me. With newfound determination, I struck at the spirits once more, and this time, my blade made contact. The malevolent entity let out a bone-chilling shriek as it dissipated into a wisp of smoke. Encouraged by this small victory, I pressed my attack, striking down spirit after spirit. The Colosseum shook with the fury of the vanquished spirits, and the ground trembled beneath me. But I fought on, fueled by the collective strength of those who had fought and died in this very arena. One by one, the malevolent spirits were defeated until only the hooded figure remained. With a final, desperate swing of my gladius, I struck down the hooded figure, and it too dissipated into the ether. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the gasps of the audience, who had witnessed a battle that transcended the mortal realm. I collapsed to my knees, battered and bruised, but alive. The malevolent spirits had been vanquished, and I had survived the harrowing encounter. But as I looked around the Colosseum, I knew that this ancient place held secrets far darker than any mortal had ever imagined. The spirits of the past still lingered here, trapped in an eternal cycle of violence and torment, and I had become a part of their macabre tale.